Good morning, everyone. Welcome again to my Florida garden. I thought I'd just pop on here and let you see a few things that I've been doing recently. This is my lovely lemongrass, and the petunia I planted below it has started to bloom. That's been kind of exciting. Everything's growing and blooming. It's spring down here in Florida. And this is my tray of some annuals. I've planted Mexican sunflower and zinnias there. I'm going to put them out in my flower garden for all the butterflies and bees and all the pollinators. One of my favorite things in the morning is to watch the beautiful dune sunflower with the heads nodding and bobbing in the breeze. They just line the edge of my lanai. And that's just a happy thing to see first thing in the morning. I've noticed the other day that my crepe myrtle has started to leaf out. A sure sign of spring. Now it won't bloom until later on in the summer, but it'll make a nice looking tree here. I've got some more plants out there that I picked up yesterday, some ironwood, which will bloom beautifully purple in the fall, or late summer to fall. I need to get that planted yet. My petunias that I planted in the strawberry pot are doing so well. The color is just gorgeous on these petunias. I love petunias. They're so full of color. They add such a splash of color to the garden. Not that they're particularly good for butterflies or bees, but they are beautiful to look at. This little, I think it's a tropical plant. I think it's called tibuchina. Lost a lot of leaves through the winter, but it's putting more leaves out, and it started to put out some bloom with that. Now this will bloom sporadically through the season, through the summer, until it gets to winter time, and then it drops its leaves again, or drops most of them, and rests a little bit. And I did notice the other day the Simpson stopper is also having a few new leaves coming out, and that's a good sign of spring here. And my tropical sage is blooming beautifully. I've not seen much growth yet on the Calusa firebush. I do see a few little green leaves right here, which is a sign that it's growing. It's not lost any leaves, but it has started to settle in. I just planted that not too many weeks ago. I wanted to point out the blooms are forming on the blanket flower, or gaillardia. They're such a showy native flower. I can't wait till they're all up and blooming. It'll be a few weeks until these are all covered with bloom again. And in the back I have my swamp milkweed making a nice appearance. Now have been seeing a few more butterflies float through the area. They have not found these milkweed yet, so I'm glad about that, because they really need to get a little bit bigger and stronger. I brought this plant home from the nursery yesterday. It's a coral honeysuckle. We're having a landscaper come in and change our yard grass here, take out the old sod and put in some St. Augustine grass, because what the builder put in was basically pasture grass, and it doesn't do well, and I'm tired of fertilizing and clipping and trying to take care of the pasture. So we're going to have some better grass put in, and they're going to make a bed for me over here. Maybe you can see, it's hard to tell, but I've outlined a bed, and I want to put this tower in that bed and plant the coral honeysuckle under it. I think that will be outstanding. Can't wait for that to happen, but in the next few weeks, it's going to all happen again. I did discover the other day, I saw, what is this orange blooming back here in the back where my scorpion's tail is. And lo and behold, it's a tropical milkweed. I had some in the back here last year, and the seed blew over, got transferred somehow, and the tropical milkweed is showing. It's kind of a nice little spark of orange in there. Ooh, I do see a ladybug this morning. Where are you, ladybug? There you are. One thing I noted was kind of interesting. I put the poinsettia in after Christmas. Ordinarily, these are the blooms right here where the bloom would come out, and that happens in early December sometime. My plant bloomed, and those usually fall off, and these red leaf things are called bracts, and they're the color we crave. But it almost looks like, with the yellow in there, that when I set it outside, it wants to bloom again. It doesn't look like a bloom. I'm not sure what that's called, if it has a name, or if it's just part of the leaf structure coming out yellow. But I thought that was quite interesting, a little spark of yellow there unexpectedly. The Carolina jessamine is growing so beautifully. The beautiful yellow trumpet flowers just keep coming on. It won't bloom all season. This is its season of bloom. But it's exciting when it does bloom. I have not seen any butterflies or insects nectaring on this. I don't know really how sweet it is, how full of nectar the blooms are. I just enjoy it when I see it. And next to that, the Laura petalum, plant I thought I lost from Hurricane Milton, is just blooming its little heart out this year. Those beautiful little, somewhat frittily little petals of the blooms dancing in the wind. Always a good sight to see in the morning. A few things I noticed down here last evening. Of course, this is my African iris. It did get one bloom on it, but I see two more stalks coming up. And there's another two stalks over here. Right there is one, and here's another one. So that's kind of fun. And I did move the pop-ups from the Maypop Passion Vine. It looks like they might be taking. They could use a little more water, which I'll do later today. But I noticed at the top of this vine, let me see if I can locate them. There were a couple of fritillary caterpillars up here. You see that? See that little speck right up there? There it is. I haven't seen the Gulf fritillaries come in to lay the eggs, but apparently they have. I found 3 of them last night. Now there's one way up at the top. See him? So they're eating away, and I do believe they are on the corky stem passion vine this morning. I planted a corky stem down the side of the trellis to give the butterflies, the caterpillars, a little more to munch on. To the front of the house, there have been some changes also, but I just want to catch these, see if I can catch these caterpillars. These are monarch caterpillars. I saw the monarchs flittering. past here. I've counted 3 of them on this plant thus far. Let's see if I can get that to focus. The wind is moving, I'm moving. The camera doesn't want to pick it up very well. Here's one under this leaf also. And there it is. Can you get it? Yes, there it is. Isn't that beautiful? Now this is on a tropical milkweed. They say tropical milkweeds aren't the best. They carry a virus or a fungus that changes the structure of the monarch. So this and the plant in the back are the last 2 tropicals that I have, but they're sold everywhere in the big box stores. I've tried to convert to the swamp milkweed, which is a native of Florida, but the blooms on this plant are not to be looked past. They're just absolutely beautiful. And I put a little brick path in this last few days, make it a little easier for us to access the side yard and the hose area. And then that last evening, around my bottle brush tree, I planted blue-eyed grass. I think that's going to be a great addition to the front here. The bottle brush is not blooming yet, but it's starting to show a little signs of bloom. Flax lily is blooming beautifully today. And on this side of the bed, I redid this last week. In the center, I've put in 2 musical note plants. I had to go back to the nursery to get the second one. And when I was there, I found this lovely. It's called Society Garlic. It's a native to South Africa. And the reason it's supposed to be called, you can actually use this in your cooking. You can take the leaves, it's like a garlic chive. You can take the leaves and chop them and add them to your dishes, and it will give a garlicky flavor. But what I'm growing it for is the beautiful purplish pink bloom. And it's called Society Garlic because it's not supposed to give you that nasty garlic breath that you get from eating the standard bulb of garlic. I think this grows a little differently. It does not grow the big bulb under the plant, but so you would just be eating the leaves. A friend of mine gave me this. She called it elephant eared jade. An interesting little plant, easy to grow. She said she just cuts off when the stems come out long, she just cuts them off and sticks them in ground and they grow. So I'm all for easy. So that's about it for my garden this morning. I thought I'd just let you know. Thank you for joining me on my morning walk. Got a few things happening, and I'm really happy for that. Before I go, I want to show you what my aloe vera is doing. Not opening the blooms yet, but they are there, and they're getting more color to them every day, and that's exciting for me. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Enjoy your garden if you can get out into it. Have fun, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.